thank you for coming and let me introduce myself first. My name is Dava Ananda, but you can call me Dava, and also my friend Saskia Yundra, and both of us we will enter a little bit short interview for my assignment for our lecture. So the assignment is we need to asking native teacher. So yeah, I see you on Hello Talk. So I think you can help us for this assignment. So I want to say thank you very much for being here. And yeah.
Well, it's so nice
So
to meet you. My name is Karis, and in America, I was worked as a nurse, but I also
oh,
taught nursing school. So I was a teacher also, and then I've taught many other things. I didn't teach English to anybody, but I've taught nursing school and many students. So I'm happy to be a help.
all right. Thank you, Caris, for your kindness. I think it's really help. So I difficult to find native teacher anyone. So I find you it's a very big thing, big help for you, and yeah, thank you. So maybe we can start our interview.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. The first question is, can you tell me about your background as a teacher before?
Can you ask that one more time?
All right. Can you tell us about your background as a teacher before, or maybe you can yeah.
Background. That was the word I missed. Background. Yeah, so I have growing up, I ended up teaching my siblings a lot. I was homeschooled. So then I would help teach my siblings. And then later I taught like more physical sports like gymnastics and whatnot. And then I became a nurse. Well, as a nurse, you teach every day. So perawat, right? I taught teach
Right.
people education on their health, education on, and then this is people of a variety of cultures and backgrounds, both religious background, culture background, different age ranges. So a lot of things to consider when you're teaching. And then as soon as I became a nurse, after about a year, I went back and started teaching nurses in nursing school. So then I had a lot of experience with before I had taught children, now I taught adults, and then you're teaching a very professional program. So it was very different.
Wow.
But I learned a lot from that.
It's you have a lot of experience about teaching, right?
Yes.
It's my actually my major is English education. So I
Ooh.
think I will in the future I will be a teacher also. So your story is made my inspiration for me. Thank you.
Yeah. Step by
All
step,
right.
you learn new things. Every time you teach, you learn something new.
Yes. All right. The second question. Oh, all right. Disclaimer is will be a question, right?
Hmm.
Uh, with me will be four questions, and with my friends four questions. So the
Okay.
second question is, how would you describe your general teaching style? Like your teaching style.
Most of the things that I've taught have been very like hands-on, teaching clinical, teaching. So my style of teaching is I'll usually explain what the project is going to be, what are we learning today, and then like ask questions to clarify if everyone's understanding, and then we'll practice and then review. So
All right.
very hands-on, very physical. Um, I took all my students into the hospital and then they practiced. So kind of went alongside, always prepped. What are we going to do today? We're dealing with people and their health. So you have to be so clear. And then as I teach them, then I'm going to help. Okay, now you explain to the patient what you're going to do and do it. And then after we'll talk. How did it go? What things do you think that you could learn? So yeah.
All right. Thank you for your best answering, and I think I will be copy your style maybe in the future for my student. So
Yeah.
I think it's works to student to first to learn for teacher and then practice it and then evaluating both of between teacher and students. I think it's
Yeah.
very cool. Yeah. All right. Next, the third question is, what do you enjoy about teaching students from different cultural backgrounds?
Oh, it's been so fun to teach people from different backgrounds because they all come into the learning experience with a different amount of knowledge, and their culture shapes what they think about things. So especially when it comes to healthcare, it's been fun to learn the different backgrounds from people, maybe get some insight into why do people respond a certain way when you give education as a nurse to them. Why do they respond either happy or sad, or why do some cultures really like certain education and then dismiss other education, don't listen to it? So every time that I get students from a different background, I love to ask them questions and hear their perspective on things. And that just has helped me to grow both in my teaching role as well as provide better education to my patients. So, yeah.
So you enjoy the teaching when the teaching student with the different background. So you enjoy and you asking question about the different background. That's yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
All
I
right.
think
Last.
in order to teach well, you have to be wanting to learn every day. So yeah, I'll include that in.
All right. Last question for me is, how do you keep your students engaged during lessons? So I think is for now the student get easy to board, right. Yeah, they distract for the smartphone and then they just scroll the social media. And how do you engage your students while teaching?
Um, Probably the biggest thing with keeping engagement is including activities that aren't just time wasters. Students nowadays have a much shorter attention span, but I don't think it's good to leave a student with a short attention span. You should work to grow their ability to engage for longer. That's a skill that they're going to need for daily life. And so I always like to give activities and then a lot of feedback for those activities, and opportunities for them to help teach other people. I think that's especially when you're talking in in a physical group, or I teach, nursing students. So you want to give them a chance to then teach or talk. And I also like to give them the opportunity to discover the answer. So if I just give them all the answer, they're going to get bored very quickly because I'm telling them all the information. Instead, if I can set it up so that there's some anticipation and a little bit of guesswork or an educated guess that goes into them being able to discover the answer, that's a good way. And then I often also like to, if I'm explaining something and I'm wondering, I'll either ask a question, are they understanding? Or I'll give an obvious wrong answer and then look for them to be engaged and say, no, that's not right. It's this. And be like, good job. That's correct. So that usually gets them engaged because they always students like to catch their teacher if they're wrong. So to be humble and to give them an opportunity to do that is good. It makes them feel like I'm part of this. I'm part of my learning and growing experience.
All right. Thank you for the good answer. And I think it's your answer is it's make me to motivate for maybe teaching in the future, and because I'm an English education major. And thank you, Caris, with the answer. And I think the next question will be with my friends. For Saski, the floor is yours.
Okay. Hello. Thank you, Dafa.
Hello. Um, Good evening. So, before we start, I want to introduce myself first. My name is Shaskia Ayundra, and I would like to thank you for the opportunity to participate in this interview. So, I think we should start to the next question, I guess. In the
Nice to meet you,
first,
Shastia.
yes, nice to meet you too, Caris.
Mhm.
Fifth question is, what challenges have you encountered when teaching adult learners?
So many. Adult learners are so different than kids. Um, Probably one of the biggest things I've noticed is that adult learners don't want to be like when you have to correct them, right? If they make mistakes or if they have their train of thought is wrong, you have to correct them, but you need to do it in a way that doesn't attack their, it's the same with kids, that doesn't attack their personality or who they are and helps them to feel involved in the learning process. And so usually the biggest thing that I've done with that is ask a lot of questions and help them to come to the correct conclusion without, I can still say, no, you're wrong, and this is why you're wrong, but usually try to help do that in a very respectful manner. Adult learners are so different than kids. I think kids are way easier to teach, but especially when you think of people who are in going towards a professional career, they are like, no, I'm going to do this. So sometimes it's easier because they're self-motivated, but then it can be harder when they they don't want to be corrected or they don't want to take a correction.
Okay, so you think it's more difficult to teach adult learners than kids?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. They're more
Okay,
motivated, more independently motivated, but then sometimes they struggle more with correction.
okay, that is a very insightful answer. And yeah, I think I want to try it too for the adult learners and the kids learners. I want to try it so like you did. Okay, the next question is, what has been your experience teaching nursing students?
I think I love teaching nursing students. I had the first time that I taught nursing students, I had actually a very bad experience. I was teaching, things were going very well, but I had a group of students that were not motivated to study, and they really all just bonded together and said, we don't want to study, we don't want to do it. So that gave me a great opportunity to learn the difference between kids and adults. And I got to work with my lead teacher. We kind of sat down and made a plan. So one thing I did, I like switched from grading in a red pen to a green pen because adult learners did not want a red pen. I thought that was silly, but just in this age range, they did not want a red pen. They wanted a green pen for corrections. I think there's some cultural differences there, but that was a good thing to learn. They responded so much better. I could put more corrections if I wrote it in a green pen, and they were like, oh, okay. But if I wrote in a red pen, it's so silly, but it worked. And then really learning to have them give me the answer instead of me giving them the answer. Adults did not want to be like, especially nursing students, they want to figure it out themselves. So if I can kind of help them get there, then they're so proud of themselves and that motivates them to study harder or do better. So that was, I know, I love teaching nursing students, especially clinicals, because everything's hands-on and there's so much new information and new experiences that they get to have. So like taking them to the hospital for the first time, first bed bath, first medication pass, first discharge education. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy that.
So you really had a very good time for teaching nursing students and so many experience from various type of students, right?
Yeah.
I'm
And
very glad.
I just had to really learn like to adjust. that first one was such a bad experience. And then my next group of students were more motivated, and I had learned like what they knew. I came into it thinking my students knew more than they did or had had more experience. So then my second group, I was like, okay, this is actually, they're not here, they're at this level. So I was able to adjust my teaching style to meet them, and we had just such a good time together. So, yeah.
All right. So it's very important to understand our student, right?
Yeah.
That is very, very interesting answer, Caris. Thank you so much. And then the next question is, how do you adapt your lessons to meet the needs of nursing students?
I think kind of what we've been saying is when you notice that they are missing something, then you kind of have to go in and fill in that gap. A lot of times that comes from, especially for nursing students, giving them an opportunity to join a small group and practice on their own. And that means they can help each other out, especially with adult learners. If you can give them an opportunity to teach someone else, that really helps them solidify their knowledge or find the gap. What am I missing? And they can kind of help each other. And because it's peer to peer, it helps them to want to receive that information better. Also helps you to find as a teacher who kind of the leader students are, and whereas who's struggling, who's leading, and find the strengths and weaknesses of your group. And the other thing I really learned was if you can ask your students, especially adult students, what are you good at and what do you struggle at? Like, what do you struggle with as a basis and what do you think you're the best at? That can give you some wonderful insight into each conversation with your student. You can look back and be like, okay, this is what they're good at. This is what they struggle with. And that can help you tailor your lesson to each student or maybe your correction to a student. And that was immensely helpful.
So it is very interesting to, when you know the weakness of your students and also their talent that is so good. And so various students that have so many talents and they never know about that. Like, yeah, it's interesting to know that. Okay, and the last question is, in your opinion, which English skills are the most important for nursing students to develop?
Well, I think English skills for nursing students is super important because you're going to be giving a lot of education. And so I would say probably being able to evaluate the understanding of the person you're talking to. Are they understanding all of the information you're giving? And so those question and answer skills, being able to ask, what do you understand? Can you repeat back to me what you understood? For nursing students or anyone going into any type of education, that is super important. And then being able to identify, to adapt your language to the person that you're speaking to. For example, in nursing, we have a lot of technical knowledge, terminology, medical language. And if you're talking to somebody maybe from a different cultural background or maybe a different education level, you have to adjust how you explain something so that they understand. And then you really have to make sure that they know what you're saying so that whatever instruction you've given them, they actually do it at home so they can take care of themselves. And so I think those would be the key things that I would want to focus on as far as language and speaking would be that adjusting and evaluating, adjusting to the language of the person or the language level, understanding level of the person, and then evaluating their understanding.
So you think speaking is the most important skills for nursing students because we have to know how to understand the other people talk and how to adjust them by their skills, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can't discount having to be able to read and understand.
Yes.
Because you have to read charts and all that. There's a whole level of knowledge that even a native English speaker has to learn when it comes to healthcare. because there's
Okay.
just a lot of different language that's specific, but then you have to know how to take that and adjust it to all different varied levels of people who level of understanding for them. So that puts a lot of reading comprehension, being able to go find education for them and provide it,
Yeah.
and to be able to adjust your speech to the person you're talking to. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're very right. Because it is very important to communicate when you are a nurse, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is very amazing answer, Caris. Thank you so much. And that's all the questions I want to ask to you. And now I want to turn the table to Dafa. For Dafa, time and floor is yours. Thank you so much, Caris.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
All right, thank you, Saski, for your question, and thank you to Karis for answering all the question and help us to done the assignment. It's really helpful, Karis. If you know, I had chat in Health Talk until my Health Talk got.
No, you froze for a second.
Dafa?
Oh, we lost him.
Wait, I'm gonna chat him. Where is he? Okay, so Dafa connection is very poor, so we're gonna end this session of interview by ourselves. Okay, Dafa is coming again. Come on.
Are you also an English or a teaching major?
Yes, I'm also in English education department. We are classmates.
Awesome.
Sorry,
when do you graduate? Ah, it's okay.
my connection got lost. Please, my Wi-Fi said error, so I turned to data mobile. So,
Okay, no worries. Okay.
Yes,
all right.
Caris, something?
I was
Yeah.
asking, when do you guys graduate? How far along in your schooling are you?
I think we will graduate at 2012,
2028.
2028, 27, maybe.
Okay, so you have
Now
about 2 years,
we
2.5 to 3 years.
yes. Now we in third semester in the second years in university. So this is the assignment for like the assignment already had in the senior to junior, and then yeah. So
Yeah.
I think so. Maybe we can help your homework. Maybe your PR in Indonesia.
Yeah.
I saw your bio in Health Talk. You live in Jawa Tengah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm in
and
Jakarta,
you
in
yeah
Salatiga.
you learn bahasa, and I really appreciate your trying hard to learn new language, and I think we can help you for your homework or maybe
Awesome.
anything.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you have to end your recording or if you did already for your class.
Uh, I
I
think
don't
it's
care.
end. Oh yeah.
Okay. I was like, I don't care if you want to record this too. Just to make sure you don't have to go edit later.
All right.
Yeah. Let me grab my book really quick. Maaf. Un momento.
It's okay. It's okay.
Sorry, I came home. Saya pergi ke Kopi Priyahi dan minum kopi dengan teman-teman, dan sudah pulang harus